Group A and Group B coming up, the knockout stages. But as you see, the quarterfinals look like this. Roma up against Corinthians. Borussia Dortmund up against Olympiacos. Beijing against AC Milan. That'll be fun. And how about this? FC Porto against Liverpool. Well, rack your mind. You might have seen a few great matches between them. And here's another one in the quarterfinals here at Estoril. The home team against third in the league, Liverpool. Doesn't get any more exciting than that. Some really good matchups then for our quarterfinal knockout. And remember, it's head-to-head, one lap. Whoever wins that lap, whoever's fastest, or if you spin off, well, that's it. Puts paid to that. But whoever goes through to the next stage.
It's good that they have all the track for themselves, Beijing and Milan, because they have a bit of history since the last race in Zolder. So it's actually very exciting, and they'll be pushing hard.
Well, Antonio Pizzonia's up against it with Frank Pereira putting that lap in. He must be aware of just how quick he was.
He has nothing to lose, and I think we're safe with the rain. Big bleak clouds, but we haven't seen any
it's
water
cooled down
yet.
a little bit, but you're right. I don't think we're going to actually have rain. These are the scenes in the Corinthian pits. Everything cool and calm. Sonia, there he is.
The fronts didn't come in.
Really enjoying his chance to get back in a fast single-seater. Of course, he's been there, done that, got the T-shirt. He was telling me that he's had his best results in Formula 1 was 7th place, but he got those 4 times. So he's never got higher than 7th, but he scored points in Formula 1. And that's important to any of these drivers. They all want to be there, and he has been there, Antonio Pizzonia.
I remember him at Williams, and he was on a podium at Spa, but he actually had a problem, so that's sad.
AS Roma, though, the big story of today's qualifying, without a doubt. And it'll be interesting to see what the Frenchman Frank Pereira can do.
It's actually quite funny because I know that this face on his side, which is a very famous photographer, Formula 1 photographer, Clément Marin, another French guy, photographing a French guy. Sorry about that.
Hey, listen, nothing wrong with that. And also, Frank was saying he's really comfortable with Fisichella Racing. He knows them as well and was really looking forward to hooking up with them. So, very professional team.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with Frank. I've been following him when he was in the US, racing in Champ Car in IRL. He did very well into the last season, racing Formula Atlantic for the first year with a small team. He finished 2nd in the championship, only 1 point behind the winner. And again, he did Champ Car this season, only 1 race, 5th on his only race at Long Beach. So, very impressive. He has lots of experience. He was very young when he was a Formula 1 test driver. And now he's actually coming together and producing very good performance.
He's amazing to say. He's only 24 years of age. So the experience he's got plenty of horsepower himself. 750. There's only 3 there. But yeah, no question about it. He was telling me actually his teammate in the States, Enrique Benalde, was supposed to be here this weekend, but broke his hand.
Yes, that's what I heard as well. He was going to drive the Tottenham car.
Yep.
He was on the list. I was expecting him to be there, and I just heard this morning that it was going to be Dominic Jackson driving the car because he damaged his hand.
Well, I'm happy for Dominic because he's been here since the Barcelona tests, chomping at the bit to try and get in, and finally his opportunity arose. He had the ignominy, though. He wasn't at the draw last night. They had a very beautiful lady take his ball out of the pot to pick his group. So he actually said on the phone, he called him up and he said, "Let the girl do it. Let the hostess pick it out. She can tell me what I need to do." So
then when you go out of the box, you need to wait until somebody gives you okay.
Just now, this is a famous engineer as well, Nicolas Goto, and he's working with his driver to try to sort out some driving around the track. He's trying to explain to him that he needs to be careful on the throttle, I think, and helping him to sort out some upshift problems, I think.
Yeah, a lot of the teams, and you were saying at Zolder the same, a lot of the teams complaining about shift problems. There's the cloud situation, there's the weather situation. Now, it started foggy this morning, and the hills are, and the coast, of course, very close to us. The wind has got up, but as you can see, the golfers are out and enjoying it, but and that's not far from the coast at all. But sunshine there, and then clouds coming over the hills. But 60 seconds to go before we are away for It's a Knockout, so to speak, in the knockout version of the Superleague Formula. Who's your money on, Bruce?
The man just there on the screen.
I hate to say that's who I predicted this morning.
That's true. Yeah, I think, well, if he can put everything together again, not put too much pressure on himself, then he's going to be very strong.
Okay, it's head-to-head.
It's,
Remember, 1 lap.
And it's the first time for him, that exercise. So we'll see if he can adapt.
Yeah, is it weird, do you think? Is it hard to get your head round?
I think it's not easy. It's putting a lot of pressure on you because it's only 1 lap.
What's the best way? Just to forget the other guy and go for it, or actually keep an eye on the sectors?
No, it's to forget about the other guy. Just do the best as you can do and let your engineer tell you if the other guy is off.
2 of the most famous clubs in the world of football, AS Roma and Corinthians of Brazil and Sao Paulo, head out on track in Portugal in Estoril for the first quarter-final. The sensation from France that is Frank Pereira has stolen a march on everybody from Group A to put in a scintillating 1:25.7 in his first qualifying, so Corinthians have really got to react. But then again, this man, Frank, has got to do it now.
There he goes. Pizzone is not very far behind him.
So would you prefer to be closer?
No, not necessarily. Having a clear view in front of you is, for me, better for concentration. But,
Yeah.
well, there is a gap. There is probably 10 seconds, so that's good enough.
So, the beautiful race, getting into the knockout stages, and Frank Pereira of France, representing the Italians, AS Roma, is the first man out in the quarterfinals. He heads out of turn 13 and 14 and heads towards 15 to wind himself up for the last turn. Got to get that just pin perfect and then take on the circuit.
And he's doing a good job. He worked the tires hard on the second part of the track before he starts to be warm and ready for now.
Here we go, kick-off here in Estoril. Roma on their first lap. We're watching also Corinthians crossing the line now to start their lap. It's a race against the clock, against each other, head-to-head for a semi-final berth. Who's going to score first? Roma into the tight turn 5, and he's got a good sector 1. Now let's check out what Corinthians can do. 17.8, 17.9, it's close. Good start by both of them.
That's good from Frank. He was very quick into turn 3. He had a bit of a slide in the middle, but had a very good exit. So that's quite good. Come on, back on the power, using all the track. Nothing special there.
Nice and smooth so far then by Frank Pereira. A little bit of a hesitation going into the right-hander.
That's good, that's good. Yeah, that's fast. That's really fast for sure. 59.7, that's actually not as good as his first lap.
59.7 the second sector, 1:00.04. It could be all in the last sector. We saw the adjustments being made to the front wings, and it's the twisty last part that could make the difference. But at the moment, Roma on their way to the semi-finals, unless Corinthians can react. They're 0.2 down, Corinthians. Crossing the line now, come Roma. Let's take a look at Corinthians. It's a good lap, 1:26.4, a very impressive lap. But here come Corinthians, and Antonio Pizzone crosses the line with a 1:27.1. And it is Roma who advance into the semis.
So there we go. We know where Frank is fast. It's the last sector. He's actually super quick in the high-speed corner. That's where he makes the difference. Because 26.4 is actually the second fastest lap of the day.
Is that more setup or driver ability?
Driver ability, I would say.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the track is very demanding on the car's setup anyways. And he doesn't make such of a difference in all those corners. And it's only in the last corner where he makes the difference. So I think it's down to the driver.
No hard feelings for Antonio Pizzone. He pushed hard there. He actually put in a very good lap.
Yeah, true.
Just, he was just up against the top man.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because what Frank doesn't know is that he has to go back to the pits quite quick to give room for the others.
Yeah, he needs to get out the track, doesn't he?
Yes,
really?
yeah.
Well, they'll be following fairly quickly on, and I can see that Dortmund are making their way out down the pit lane. But there you see, the first quarter-final is done, and Roma beating Corinthians. It's 1-0 to Roma as they go through to the semi-finals. Next group, and Enrico Toccacello at the pit lane entry, waiting to head out, representing Germany's Borussia Dortmund. Away they go, and he's up against Olympiacos. And interestingly enough, we saw Olympiacos